Most fashion startups aren't underpriced because the founders are generous, and they're not underpriced because founders lack confidence. They're usually underpriced because pricing is one of the hardest decisions to make in this game. Early stage brands face real constraints. Naturally, there's limited brand recognition, obviously, much smaller production runs, and of course, the corresponding high unit costs attributed to that. And then, of course, uncertain demand, especially in the market that we're in. So, pricing often becomes defensive rather than strategic. And founders will anchor prices to what feels reasonable to them in the market rather than to what the business actually needs to sustain itself long term. So lower pricing rarely creates long-term demand in fashion. What it creates for those startups is structural pressure because they've now got pressure on margins, they've got pressure on production decisions, and of course, pressure on cash flow and reordering. So once a brand sets a low price anchor, it becomes very difficult to move the customer up later without changing the product, distribution, or even the positioning. Now, this doesn't mean every brand should price high. Just let me make that clear. It just means your pricing needs to be intentional. I would line it with your cost base, your target customer, your channel mix, and of course your long-term positioning. So to those startups listening, please don't treat pricing as a reaction to uncertainty. Treat it as a design decision with consequences. If your numbers don't work at full price, the solution is not lower pricing. And at that point, it means you need to consider a different strategy altogether. Anyway, I'm Jalil, and this is how fashion really works.